If you're packing your lunch, chances are there's one item you'll be thinking about snagging early before lunchtime at noon. And hopefully it's not the dessert.
It's usually a granola bar. And we want to help get your kids excited about their packed lunch before the first day of school. Sherman Chow explains how you can keep your kids healthy and happy.
Keeping kids focused and ready to learn is a battle for plenty of parents as kids head back to school. So, one of the best tactics, make sure they have a solid school lunch. So let's break down what to pack for each age group. When it comes to those preschoolers, they're going to need a healthy start to their school career. Make sure they have some fruits and veggies they actually like, cut into bite-sized pieces for those little hands. Also, keep things fun at this age. Maybe use a cookie cutter to cut out sandwiches into fun shapes. Now, when it comes to grade school, kids are going to need carbs for all that energy they burn. But you want healthy carbohydrates like fruit and whole grains. Also, granola bars can be a good source of whole grains, but just make sure they're not loaded with sugar. Now, let's talk high school. Teens need calcium because they are still building bone mass. And while milk is a great source, snacks can also be key for calcium. Think yogurt, cheese, and smoothies. And no matter the age group, experts recommend one of the best ways to make sure your kid actually eats the lunch that you pack is involve them in the process. Ask them, give them options, let them make the final decision. And forget about the Instagram. Our feeds may soon be flooded with picture-perfect meals packed into gorgeous bento boxes, but it doesn't matter how beautiful that lunchbox is if your kid won't eat what's inside it. So put that time and energy into making items they actually like. I'm Sherman Chow, KHOU 11 News.
KHOU 11, of course, is your education station. And with the first day of school for several districts now less than a week away, it's important to get your child's immune system ready.
Yes, health expert Dr. Stephen Sear joins us live this morning. Dr. Sear, good morning. How should parents prepare their kids' immune system for back to school?
Well, I think the number one thing to do is make sure that they're on a regular sleep schedule. Sleep is key to mental health and of course, performance. So getting them back onto a regular schedule that's in sync with school is the number one thing. I think that's the most important thing. And then, of course, in the morning, make sure that they're eating a healthy breakfast, fruits, vegetables, and protein, as well as plenty of water. Those are the main things that I recommend.
All good tips. And Dr. Sear, what can parents and kids do to stay healthy during the back to school rush?
Well, I think the number one thing is to make sure they're eating a balanced diet. If they have picky eaters, like I have 4 kids, so I know what that's like. Sometimes they have to supplement with vitamins, but make sure they're getting a balanced diet. Make sure they're exercising regularly, either with a team or the family or individually. That's important as well. And then, of course, when you're exposed to other people, you have to make sure that you're washing your hands frequently. If your kids can, maybe give them a little personal hand sanitizer so they could carry it around in case they're exposed to anyone who seems ill, because we're going to be around a lot more people now with school coming.
You got 4 kids. You must be really busy. One last question. Should kids be taking vitamins? If so, what kind are the most effective?
Well, in general, most people recommend kids don't need vitamins, but I think that's kind of the best case scenario where you have someone who has plenty of time to prepare their meals every day. A well-balanced meal is really hard to prepare for most of us who are busy parents, and the kids themselves are rushing off to school and activities. And so it's really hard. So I think in some scenarios, there are vitamins I think kids benefit from. Number one, I think a multivitamin to balance out their picky eating habits. And then also something like melatonin is really good right now to get their sleep schedule back on, especially if you've been traveling. I wouldn't recommend that regularly, but for sleeping, I'd recommend that right now. And then vitamin D is also a good immune booster. Vitamin C is a great immune booster. And then some people recommend omegas. Omega vitamins are really good for your heart, your health, your brain, but also it's really good for focus. So that's a really good one for kids, especially those who suffer from focus issues like ADHD.
Oh, omegas. Got it. Noted on all of that. Dr. Sear, thank you so much for being up early with us this morning to keep track of just how heavy your child's backpack really is before they carry it around all day.
Yeah, Cheryl Mercedes spoke with a doctor about the importance of keeping backpacks light.
Backpacks, lunch boxes. Back to school shopping is underway.
Plan ahead, buy as much as you can ahead of time, look for deals.
And one thing on a lot of lists is a new backpack. But while it is essential, it can be a real pain. And we mean that literally.
This is something that as a pediatric spine doctor, I'm seeing a lot more of.
Dr. Timothy Borden is the director of the Pediatric Scoliosis and Spine Program at UT Health.
At our national meeting, there are talks about, the back pain epidemic that's going on in our children.
Dr. Borden says heavy backpacks are partly to blame.
And one of the most common culprits for back pain is a heavy backpack or a poorly positioned or poorly fitting backpack.
So what can parents do?
The general recommended weight for a backpack is about 15% of the child's body weight. And so if you weigh 100 pounds, that means the backpack should ideally not weigh more than 15 pounds.
Also, the design of the backpack plays a role.
The wider the straps on the backpack, the more it's going to distribute the forces over the shoulders over a broader area. So the thinner the strap, the more uncomfortable it's going to be.
And keep those straps tight.
Keep the backpack closer to the back and sitting kind of like right above the waistline is going to be helpful.
Good advice to help your kids stay pain-free this school year.
Yeah, you don't want young kids having shoulder pain.
Which can happen.
Yeah,
Which can happen.
I like the new support straps in the front there.
Yeah, we're keeping
Right
you
over the
informed.
chest,
We're keeping
yes.
you informed. Hey, we want to know what issues are important to you before your kid goes back to school. Scan the QR code right there on your television screen or text the word school to 713-526-1111 and we'll send you back a link to take our back to school survey.
Well, do parents have to brush up on healthy homework habits along with their kids? Students are not the only ones whining about the return of homework. Many parents are bemoaning the return of after-school studies. That's because it can be a frustrating experience for children and adults. But there are steps you can take right now to help your students succeed. It's important to remember that homework is about more than just reinforcing what was learned in school. It is also supposed to be teaching kids important lessons in responsibility, time management, and independence. So what can you do? According to Scholastics, parents can help set the stage. Make sure your child has a clutter-free, quiet spot to do homework. Kids should use the same spot every day to help reinforce the habit. Also, work with your kid to figure out the right time to get homework done. Some students work best when they do it right after school, when all the material is fresh in their brains. Others need to decompress from the day before tackling projects. Another important reminder for parents is to remember this is your child's homework, not yours. Be available to answer questions and provide encouragement, but if you take over, it can ruin the lesson your kid is supposed to learn. Also, keep your frustrations to yourself. If you treat homework like an annoyance, there's a very good chance your child will as well. With The Why, I'm Trace and Bragg.